bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 da 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 dum bum bum ba-dum ba ba dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba ba dum. Hi, friends. So great to see you all. It's great. Hi, Harry. I can see everyone. Oh, Dolly from Pennsylvania, Diane from Arizona, and Beata from Ontario, Diane in Arizona. This is so great to see you all, friends. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me. Love it. Ellen has got little quarter notes. It's great to see. Noli, hi everyone from Ontario. I love that we're getting more and more Ontarians. It's really great to see those from Ontario. And Susan from Ohio, Jody, bad connection, breaking up. Are we? Are we breaking up, friends? Tell me if we're breaking up. Hello, so excited to be here. Ryan in Ohio. Great to see you all. Hi, friends. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night. And every Monday night we do one thing and one thing only, and that is we go over homeopathy. I teach you what I know. And I'd like you to hop in as well. Love it. For those of you who don't know me, that's what we do. And for those of you who do, welcome, my friends. It's great to see you. I can see this top is going to give me trouble all night long. So I should have taped it or something. All righty. Let's talk. We got a subject that I've actually addressed before. I've written about it a number of times, and I've also talked about it here on Monday Night Live, but I think it was a few years ago. And I wanted to go back to it because we're getting lots of responses, lots of questions about it lately. I don't know if it's parasite time. I don't think it is necessarily, but it's really great to go back and go over things. Not only because these are subjects that are continuous, but also because sometimes people ask questions that were not asked last time, and it's helpful. Yes, we are breaking up a bit. Says a couple of people say you're breaking up a bit. Sorry, we're just going to keep going. You're envious of my tan. Yes, hi, Alice. All righty. So let's go. Does homeopathy address parasites? And absolutely it does. There's no doubt about it. And I've had a couple of questions that have come in the past, and I'll go to them because I know you'll have questions too. But I want to start with one very important point, and that is homeopathy is not like a drug that is a vermicide that kills the parasites. It is also not like many other supplements, etc. It is like the botanicals, and I'll tell you about a botanical in a few minutes. I'm sure you already know about it, but we'll talk about that too. And so homeopathy doesn't kill parasites. That's not the function. It doesn't kill. Just like it doesn't kill other aspects, doesn't kill cancer, that's not the way it works. Instead, I like to think of it this way. Homeopathy actually evicts the parasites. It makes the body inhospitable. And that makes it so that sometimes we actually see pinworms evicted rectally. And we find that is one of the ways that we know that the medicine is acting. Then they leave on their own. They either leave on their own, they don't propagate, etc. So, and when I talk about parasites, I'm not talking about parasites that some people are thinking of. So let's make it really clear. I'm going to sneeze first. Excuse me. Again, excuse me. I'm going to be talking about pinworms, sometimes called threadworms, liver flukes, roundworms, parasites that live in other parts of the body. Some people are worried about parasites that live in the brain. And it's it is important that we think of these as parasites themselves, not as candida. Some people have asked me, will it deal with candida? No, candida is not a parasite. Candida is yeast. And will it deal with cinna? Sometimes it's written one way, sometimes it's written the other way. It can be written with Artemisia first or Artemisia second, but you want cinna, C-I-N-A. People confuse it often with China or with other medicines that sound similar. It is the #1 homeopathic medicine for intestinal parasites. Intestinal parasites are everything we've pretty much talked about. I would even include liver flukes. It's not in the intestines, but it's in the gastrointestinal area. And what we see with that is roundworms, pinworms, especially when associated with grinding teeth. So intense itching of the nose, intense itching of the rectum. And there can also be a ravenous appetite. Now, let me just tell you, I've just given you the keynotes for cinna, but it doesn't mean that they need to all be there. I want to remind you, friends, that you don't need to have every single keynote. You may not even need any keynote. All you may need to know is that this child, because it's a very common childhood condition, to have pinworms, threadworms is another word, that it's a very common childhood illness or condition, I should say, infection. I guess we could call it an infection. That all you have to know is that there are worms. That's all you need to know. You can find them yourself. If they're threadworms, you can actually see them yourself. I won't go into that. You might want to look that up. But I'm going to warn you, my friends, that when you look up pinworms, cinna and pinworms, or even just pinworms, it's going to freak you out if you're a mother that has children, because the caution against it, or caution and how to deal with pinworms, is crazy. They require that it is often required that you have to follow very specific methods, which is when the child gets up from bed, you grab that child and you scrub the heck out of that child's fingernails with a brush. And then you get the sheets that the child slept in and you put them in the wash. No, excuse me. First, you boil the sheets or you put them in extremely hot water if your water is hot enough. And then you wipe down the floor where the child may have walked to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Then you have to keep that child from other children. They got to have a different towel. I mean, it will drive you out of your mind. When, my friends, what I've seen in my own experience with my clients and students through the years, and even with my own family, the answer is garden variety cinna. Now, you can use cinna in a mother tincture, and it's quite effective, cinna artemisia. And it's so if it's a mother tincture, it's an alcohol. So I would not give that to a baby, for example, nor would I give that to a pregnant woman. But you could use it if you wanted to in just a few drops, 2 or 3 drops in water, and that could be used twice daily. But there's another way we can use cinna. Let's say we have a baby that for 3 months, twice daily for 3 months. It is saying that my reconnection is successful. That's good to hear. Okay. So if there's grinding teeth, though, and there's intense itching, where's the itching? The nose and the rectum. And there can be a ravenous appetite, but you don't need to have all of that. Now, they often say that parasites are spread, especially pinworms, threadworms, by children who are sharing food, such as popcorn in a classroom. Everyone puts their hands in the bowl, and the parasites are found under the nails, and that's how it's spread. But that'll freak you out. You don't want to go that far, because if you really look into it, you'll find that these pinworm eggs are on shopping cart handles, and they're on handles of doors going into grocery stores. Don't even go there. I'm just going to tell you I'm warning you to stay away from that kind of thinking, because we have a homeopathic medicine. Now, we do want to keep clean. We do want to keep the nails and the fingers clean. And when we come from the grocery store, we don't put our fingers in the mouth. We go home and wash our hands. So we are going to use a certain amount of intelligent care. But even in spite of that, my friends, I find that cinna is, across the board, amazing. Okay, now let's talk about the next one, tucrium. When cinna has not helped, and it's very rare that that ever happens, I have used tucrium. It's spelled Teucrium. Tucrium marum is the second word. M-A-R. Happen. Chorea, choreic movements. So I don't know if you know what chorea is, but it's when somebody, it's like a little shudder in the body. So when we see shuddering of the body, and there are Pigella. Okay. Phoenicia says, cinna 2D, twice daily, for 3 months. Believe it can use it 3C. Okay, thank you. But verify with Joette too, and look in her antibiotic alternative course as well. Yes. Good. Thank you so much for doing that, Phoenicia, and giving everyone the spelling of the names. Them at least 2 months, more like 3 months. Then, my friends, we're going to go to sulfur. And so I like sulfur in a low potency for this, sulfur 30, and especially when there is itching accompanied by burning. If there's burning in the nose, burning rectally, burning in the stomach, burning in the bowels, then we know. Donna says, I think the internet connection has chorea. Tucrium, 200C, I would use 200C. These are, yeah, let's see what else we've got, other questions we have here. There are some other medicines. This is one of the further down the row is NatPhos, NatPhos, Natrum phosphoricum. I love NatPhos in a 6X. It's particularly useful for children or anyone who has gastrointestinal indigestion and those kinds of other conditions that are higher up, because when we think of parasites, we usually think lower down into the intestines. NatPhos is also a very good medicine, particularly if there's an acidity to this condition, meaning the person has indigestion, or if they wear jewelry, the jewelry turns the skin green or something like that. Now, I've got one more. Actually, we have a few more, but I'm going to tell you about one more. And this one is called santonine. Santonine, santonine or santonine. And that is when cinna or these other medicines fail. That's when I go to that. And it's only been once that I've actually gone to santonine. And I've used it in A30, twice daily. Yes, for those of you who, thank you for mentioning this, that we have a Mighty Members Plus live tonight. So for those of you who are members, more questions could come in regarding this so that the intermittent sound problem becomes less of a problem. Because that is our premier medicine for any liver condition. Okay, so we're connecting, we're not connecting, I can see it. I know, it's connecting, not connecting. All righty, let me just see if I've got anything else here. I want to make sure that I have covered everything. Oh, one other thing, tucrium. Pinworms, especially threadworms, pinworms, cause rectal itching that can be so intense, like a pinch itch. It's not an itch like a rash. I'm not going to go into what it actually is that's happening. Find that out on your own. But it's a pinch itch, if there is such a thing. Yep. Now, reconnection successful. All righty, let's see if I can get to some questions. Hi, Donna. Yeah. What's wrong is that here we go. And others are helping. You're helping each other, which is really great. Yeah. All right. I love that you're helping each other. Thank you, Phoenicia. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Esther. I mean, it's so good that you're helping each other because of this difficult inability for us to get this message to you very clearly. The video keeps stopping. I did not hear her. Okay. See if there's anything else that I can help you with. It is 8:20. We've got a few more minutes. Chelidonium is the medicine for liver conditions in general. So if it's a liver fluke, I would use Cinna Plus the liver fluke remedy or the liver remedy, which is chelidonium. Chelidonium. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Yeah, we're very frustrated here with this internet. I apologize, and there's nothing I can do. So we just keep going, and if I don't get enough of this information out to you, I'll perhaps find another way to do that. Maybe we could talk about doing another blog on it to cover most of this, to cover all of this. Would Ledum help? I don't see how Ledum would help. Ledum could be used for insect bites, but I've never thought to use Ledum. Perhaps it's in the repertory, and I don't know that. But I've never used Ledum, and I just don't see that would be okay. Can you talk about parasite cleansing? Is it a good idea? We do them, and so how often? Well, I wouldn't cleanse a parasite unless I had a parasite, and that's exactly what this is. So it's a different paradigm. I know that you're probably thinking in terms of their naturopathic methods. This is the cleansing, but we don't use homeopathy unless there are parasites. Now, there's one other question that hasn't come up, and anytime you do a cleanse, be sure to use a binder, says Melissa. Well, for homeopathy, you don't need a binder. This is a whole different. I use Ledum for a stab wound, which I stabbed myself with a kitchen knife, and it's working still red and inflamed, but it's healing nicely. Good, great. That's very good. You could also use calendula with that too, Donna, and even hyper R's if there's an infection setting up. It sounds like there isn't. Okay. Let's see what else everyone's got. Cinna and chelidonium mixed or taken separately. Taken separately. Cinna and chelidonium for liver flukes, taken separately in the same schedule, not simultaneous, and to the pancreas. The whole deal with the pancreas, my friends, is diet. It's all about diet and movement. Diet and movement. All right. Okay, Donna M., we heard that too and would like to cure it. I'm not sure. I missed that. Okay. Maybe the team could print out the protocols. It is very hard to follow this. Yeah, I might just do that. Maybe we'll do that next Sunday night for Monday or for our blog, and we'll get this information out to you in that regard. Okay, my friends, it is no, we've got a few more minutes. Let's take advantage of it. Constant itching in the female area. That's a whole different world. Now, now we go to Joette Calabrese Feminopathy. I talk all about that. You can also go to just Joette Calabrese. Instead of even going to a course, you can find it on my blog on female itching. I believe it's okay. So the potency for chelidonium is 6. Exactly what you should be doing. Yes. On how far south from Arctic Circle it reaches, it can be okay. Yes, congratulations. Other tincture, it's going to be in alcohol. You put it in water, or if it's in pills, then if you're going to buy the pilules, then you're just going to use pilules in the mouth. All right, I think what I'm going to do is a blog on this next week because of the problem with the internet tonight. And so I'm going to say good night to you all. It is